Welcome to XR News. We bring you news you can use from across the metaverse. Produced by educators in VR, XR News is filmed before a live audience right here in Engage XR.
And welcome to our special XR News show covering the convergence of XR, AI, and robotics. More than ever, the reality of spatial computing is virtual. VR provides the environment, AI cognition, and robotics, well, the arms and legs, so to speak.
Yep.
You're right on that. You know, our team put some serious thought into all of this about what we were going to cover on this topic. And we decided we could sit around and just watch videos of robots doing stupid stuff, all right? You know? But we wanted to dive deeper into how XR, AI, and robotics are merging together and impacting our lives.
That's so right. It is amazing how AI has infiltrated our lives so quickly. Even in our studio today, we have robots everywhere, including Perseverance, the famous Mars rover robot. Robots are quickly becoming normalized or villainized by today's society as people are starting to add them to their homes as housekeepers, in schools to teach, manufacturing around the world, and to provide security on city streets.
And you know, there's so much to cover about all of these three subjects, but our focus today is on the arrival of what is now bridging the divide between virtual and reality, XR integrated, AI-driven robots.
Okay, how many of you are ready to be done with these stupid robot tricks that we've been watching on the screen? These things, they fill up our social media everywhere. It's hysterical, and I love it. Okay, but we got to stop because we have to focus on why we are here.
Yes, this is
XR
serious.
News.
Okay, and we had some
Seriously.
fun with the news
We did.
articles too.
Oh,
Okay,
we've had so much fun. Okay, so let's get on with the good stuff.
Yes, here we go. Okay, so XR News here at Engage XR every Wednesday is here bringing you the news and special editions with our XR News Med Health and Innovation Spotlight every single month.
Keep up with the news we share on our social media and watch past XR News videos on our Educators in VR XR News channel on YouTube.
And XR News is produced by Educators in VR and run by volunteers. I want to thank you so much to all of our partner supporters who keep us going, including Vertex Form 3D, the Reinhardt Foundation, Girls Team Institute, iLearn, Virtual Society, Cadets Metaverse, and Bridgemakers.
And a special thanks goes to Engage XR for their continued support, which allows us to do this show every week. If you or your company would also like to sponsor the XR News, please contact us at educatorsinvr.com.
Next week is our annual celebration show to celebrate another year of bringing you the news from across the metaverse to you here in Engage XR. Come join us for the fun before we take our work break in August and are back in September with more news.
Now, let's get on with our special show about XR, AI, and robotics.
Oh, we've been so looking forward to this, so I'm glad you all are here. I'm just too excited. Okay, so I want to take you back in time a little bit. In March 2021, Microsoft's Alex Kipman unveiled Microsoft Mesh in Altspace VR. It became the next generation of cloud-based mixed reality platform. That's what it was supposed to be. Unfortunately, Microsoft Mesh was way ahead of its time, and seriously, in that moment, watching fully realized people on stage talking to us live using HoloLens and holoportation technology, we were understandably gobsmacked.
No kidding. During that Microsoft Ignite virtual keynote in Altspace VR, we got a vivid glimpse of the future of communication, collaboration, and education as filmmaker James Cameron and Niantic CEO John Hanke joined Alex Kipman aboard a virtual replica of the Ocean Explorer deep sea vessel.
We found ourselves aboard a mesh-enabled holographic lab that linked VR users to a real submersible robot streaming live 3D holograms of the ocean floor to researchers worldwide. We could see the underwater robot appear on stage, drifting through the water as fish swam by, turning cutting-edge robotic telepresence and mixed reality into a shared scientific experience. It was
It
incredible.
it was, and I have dreams about it. That's how intense this was. It
Yeah,
was
it was
to actually
impressive.
be standing there,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden they kind of jump back because a fish swims by in real time. It's
Hmm.
just
Through the audience, yeah.
that's not something you can edit in, you know? It was amazing.
Yep.
Now, many of you may remember our beloved Carnivore. We love him. He's an amazing teacher and virtual
Yeah.
world builder in AltSpace VR. He is known as, in the real world, as Professor Mark Gill of St. Cloud University's Visualization Lab. He worked with the MATE Rove competition during COVID to ensure the students working with robotics could still be able to compete in local and national competitions long distance.
It was amazing to watch. We have a clip of it up on the screen coming up. There it is, using digital twins and AltSpace VR of the competitive real-world environment. We were able to watch the competition of robots performing underwater tests in real time, breaking ground in XR and robotic integration.
Researchers found developing robots by training them in the real world, they found that that was slow, expensive, and well, it broke a lot of robots. So Ludic Worlds and others are working in Unity to train AIs and robot avatars that can then deploy the results to a physical bot. This is currently called Real to Sim to Real experiments. We'll cover more later in the show about how Unity and Unreal engines are expanding into robotics. Very, very exciting.
Ludic Worlds went on to build a two-wheeled turtle robot powered by an Arduino microcontroller with a Bluetooth adapter and air tracker to connect to a computer. Then created a Unity add-on called Sim to Real. They trained an AI to help the turtle robot learn from its mistakes, navigating the digital twin world from within Unity. Ludic Worlds took this even further by developing a reinforcement learning, thus teaching itself to improve navigation strategies. Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's just we're gonna have a lot of videos in here, and I'm just entranced with how this all came together and all the parts and pieces. But really using Unity to pull this together. So just for a second, I want to just have us look at a little of this where they did the reinforcement training. It looks really silly, but they had a score point that would, if it hit the wall or it hit the object, it would then be penalized. And so that it learned to not be penalized in that process. So very, very cool.
Fascinating.
Yeah, we'll be talking more about that. Stay tuned. Okay, so today the landscape of robotics is currently experiencing a massive divergence between two entirely different worlds. The highly automated and controlled environment of industrial adoption and the chaotic frontier-driven evolution of home robotics. Talk about chaos, you know. It's going to be interesting. Industrial robotics is mature, massive market where robotic arms and autonomous mobile robots form the backbone of global manufacturing supply chains, thriving in structural factory floors.
And robots destined for very different floors, like Neo, a housekeeping and companion robot that is coming to a home near you, hopefully mine. This company uses MetaQuest headsets tied to their robot eyes to see the worlds around them to support the robot's training when it runs into trouble or when the homeowner requests help. I've ordered one myself.
Karen, you have a Neo robot arriving soon in your home. So what do you expect that's going to be like, Karen?
Well, every day that goes by, I think of something that the robot can help me with, from improving my yoga poses because it can watch me from all different angles. You know, helping me take the trash out, especially when the yard can is so heavy I can barely move it. So just being there to answer questions. So instead of going to the AI on my computer or my phone or Siri or Alexa, I could just, you know, converse with Neo. So I just keep thinking of more and more use cases.
Keep
That's
alert.
fascinating. Yeah, it's fascinating because all I could think of is I don't want to do dishes, I don't want to do windows, and I don't want to do laundry.
Well,
But
I
the
don't know how
robot-
long it's going to be before it gets to that point, Laurel. We probably have many trials and tribulations to get there.
Probably, but that's going to be part of the fun.
It is, and I
Yes,
just
it
saw
is.
in the video that we're playing, it opened the door. I'm sorry, I am just cracking up about the idea of having my own butler open the door and it'd be a robot, you
Indeed.
know.
Uh,
And I have another question. So, are you going to dress it?
oh,
Oh,
Ah.
actually, I thought of having it put gloves on when it's doing things like cleaning the toilet.
Yes. Well,
I
yes.
did
Oh.
think about that. But you know what? That's a really good idea. I could buy a little hat for it. I could wear hats, different
Oh,
hats
Lord.
for different occasions.
You know,
A scarf.
get some Mardi Gras beads and a few feathers.
Oh,
Um,
Laurel, I love that idea. I really didn't think of that. That's a fantastic idea. Give the poor thing a little personality.
Yes, because boy, that whole
Poor
gray
Neo,
white
no
thing
dignity
is
at all.
it needs a little bit of but you want to
Spiffing
get
up.
something
Yes,
that's
it
washable.
does.
Yeah, you want
Yes.
something washable.
Yeah.
In fact, that was part of my
100%.
questions. Is that it comes wrapped in this fabric cover? Can you take that off and wash it? I mean, can you
I
strip
think I
your
heard you
robot
can.
and wash its clothes?
Actually wondered about that myself because it's going to get dirty, even nothing else
Oh,
from
yeah.
dust.
Yeah.
So I think
yeah.
I did see somewhere where it can be washable. I mean, the outside bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
Anyway,
good to
we
know.
are so I'm so excited about this, Karen. I'm seriously
Me too,
way too excited.
Laurel. I have ChatGPT. I have an alert set up. It sends me a weekly report to see if there's any news,
Okay.
on shipping date, anything
Uh-huh.
to do with production, any of that. So I'm really keeping on top of it. But
But looking
nothing
forward to
yet.
it is half the fun, I think, too.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we've already talked. I'm so glad y'all are here. This is honestly, I want to say again, this is one of the funnest shows that we have, put together, and I want to do more fun things like this coming up next year. But let's talk about. We've given you a few examples. So let's really dive in deeper to understand the three threads and how they're woven together with XR, AI, and robotics, because they keep merging closer and closer together. And we're going to begin with some what are called real to sim to real techniques. That's the term, real to sim to real techniques, that is being embraced in research and beyond. We found that AI, XR, and robots tend to be grouped into several different market segments. So we're going to talk about these to help us understand their reach.
So first is community and social robots. And these are robots that serve humans through social and community interactions, such as mental health, senior care, medical support, safety, food service, housekeeping, robots that we'll accept in our day-to-day lives.
And your robot is one of those. So I just love that. Now, an example that it's all, I'm seeing it come up all over the web. So it just came out, a new BBC sci-fi comedy called Android. It's about a social AI robot that's a little socially awkward. Anyway, it follows Sue. It's going to become a meme. An elderly widow whose son arranges for a robot companion called Linda. This is really a fascinating perspective on social robots learning to interact with humans and not always getting it right.
Oh, dear.
So I love that. It's going to be real. It's going to feel a little too real, Karen.
Probably.
Yes, I know, Laurel. It is. It's going to take a little getting used to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then there are digital twins, much like what Carnivore did in Altspace VR. Robots that work in one or both virtual and real-world experiences for training, research, education, retail, and manufacturing. These go beyond just reproductions of factory floors, buildings, and cities. Digital twins are used in prototyping everything from body parts, literally, to jet engines.
Telepresence is what is used when humans are using the robot through live interaction with VR. such as support for the Neo robot housekeeping, the submersible robot from OceanX, human powering robots, remote communication, and more. Okay, so let's dive deeper into all of these.
Okay, now the use of virtual reality and virtual world mapping and digital twins, robots are being used to walk neighborhoods and cities to map them out and import the information into virtual reality platforms for virtual robots and AI to study, evaluating pedestrian and vehicle traffic patterns for urban planning and architecture, delivery services, and so much more.
Companies like VR Robo, SimNav XR, and XR Auto are using robots to scan real places and AI to convert them into photorealistic 3D environments and then allow humans to navigate these in VR.
S3I Maps in New Zealand is changing the geography map experience using spatial data and Gaussian splat technology to literally walk you through a digital twin of a community in New Zealand using a combination of robotics, VR, AI, and mapping technology. Doesn't this change travel and education for you? We sure think so. It's just amazing.
It really is. I just, again, gobsmacked. I keep saying that word. But it's really amazing to watch this merger of the things that, you know, we love. It's just amazing.
It sure is.
Now,
It's
embodied AI, a term you better get used to, uses VR to let robots learn by watching and doing. With human motion, navigation, and reactions are captured in virtual environments, and that is turned into training data and then transferred to physical robots for factories, restaurants, homes, and even therapeutic settings.
It's also being paired with sociology and psychology. So robots can be trained not just for tasks, but for behavior and care. At the same time, many young people are already forming deep relationships with AI chatbots that follow them across phone, desktop, and VR. And it's easy to imagine those same AI companions eventually inhabiting physical robot bodies as naturally as they now move between screens.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, but you know, I've taken it for granted that, you know, that I can listen to like an audiobook on my phone and then transfer immediately to my computer, my desktop, and then I can listen to it, you know, again, and it knows where I've taken that. I paused it. I can listen to it on my laptop or switch phones or whatever it happens to be. That's happening now with these chat AI robots and things that it's this, they're merging between all of these. So it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Housekeeping is one of the key challenges that many developers have taken on. Act 2 Memos developers explain that they choose housekeeping because of the challenges such as working in light and dark environments, or clothing shape and size challenges, interruptions and distractions, and well, they literally threw everything at it, literally. It kept improving, learning from its mistakes, moving on from laundry to general cleaning to kitchen tasks and even making food.
And we've shared so much of this on our social media and stuff, but some of the things they did, they had people come up and actually throw clothes over the head of the robot while it was working, and kids would come up and throw clothes on the floor at its feet and all kinds of different things. And it was just really fascinating to watch it adapt. It's just amazing. So I'm, you know, it's part of learning. I just didn't know that laundry could be that educational. You know, seriously, it's actually, it's funny, but it's, you know, my husband did that. I was folding clothes, came in and he threw clothes and it landed right over my head. He wasn't trying, but there it was. And I went, oh, that's real world. So anyway, I just love this.
Done that.
Yeah. So now it gets even cooler because Chinese robot maker Debot is using VR and teleoperations to train their robot Adam to not just clean the house, but be your personal chef. I like this.
Oh,
You
me
can
too.
finally come home from a busy day at work for a fresh cooked meal. All, you know, I think it's great. And all the training's guided by someone who lives thousands of miles away through a VR headset.
Yeah, and you know, when you think about it, things like knitting and crocheting are kind of things of the past, right? And sewing.
Nope. We're going to be talking about that. You just wait. No, it's coming back.
Cooking's going to end up being a thing of the past too, but we'll see. Anyway,
We'll see.
Robot Pilot is a PCVR solution for industrial robot teleoperation. It is designed to connect immersive VR training with robot motion data capture and skill transfer to turn human enterprise into structured data sets for robot learning.
Now, Vertrix Omni One is famous for their VR treadmill. Anybody have one? I kind of like one. Anyway, they've now, I really would love one. They have now expanded into defense and robotics, converting drone footage into photorealistic virtual terrain using AI-based Gaussian splatting that lets human walk through military missions before execution, adding challenges that the soldiers may face during the process. Again, like clothes being thrown over your head while you're floating, whatever it is. University researchers found that they were able to steer the humanoid robots in real time by translating full body movement in VR to the robot's motions. Fascinating.
Now, amid the rise of hard metal and plastic robots, researchers are exploring soft, floating robots as gentle indoor companions. Instead of noisy drones or humanoid machines inspired by characters like Tinkerbell or Baymax, these lighter-than-air, whale-shaped robots use helium bodies and soft, flapping fins, making them quiet, energy-efficient, AI-guided balloon robots that safely drift alongside people, offering friendly presents, reminders, and playful interactions.
I'm not sure about having a floating robot fish following me around yet.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Neo's enough for now, but still, but we're still seeing the impact of AI and XR everywhere, though, from programming to model and world creation to interactions. And VR is, as we've just said, is a huge part of it. It is fascinating, but at the same time, it's still a little bit scary.
Balloon robots? Scary? Well, how about dance training in VR? Learning to dance in VR used to involve half or full body haptic suits. But Dance Guru is a mixed reality app for the MetaQuest that acts as a private virtual dance instructor. The app uses current VR technology and AI to teach you how to waltz, salsa, cha-cha, and bachata. This is similar to the technology used to train robots.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Wow. Well, Feifei Li, owner of World Labs and Marble, consumer-generated AI virtual worlds, and Masterclass CEO David Rogier, argue that the real currency in an AI-driven world won't just be technical skill, but human agency, our willingness to keep learning and adapting to new tools. World Labs is pushing beyond language models into spatial intelligence, building AI that can understand, reason about, and generate native 3D environments, opening up powerful new possibilities for virtual world building, game development, and robotics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want. We want that Star Trek holodeck experience, right? And that's where that's heading with Marble Worlds, and I'm excited about where that's going.
Me too.
Okay, so the China and Japan are really pushing hard on AI-powered robots. And I knew I was going to mess that up and call it rabbits, so it's no surprise. All right, AI-powered robots and XR, making them central to economic growth and everyday life. I mean, the government is investing in these things, from social, education, industrial robots in China to Japan's humanoid factory automation, defense systems, drone programs, all enhanced with XR and AI. At the same time, Vietnam, South Korea, India are rapidly emerging as innovation hubs for immersive AI and XR education and infrastructure, showing that robotics and the metaverse revolution is truly pan-Asian and not just centered on just two countries.
That's right. And actually, I think China has the lead right now, but we'll see.
It does. It does.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It does. The Royal Canadian Geographical Society Use the famous Alvin robot submersible and advanced underwater photogrammetry to map the shipwrecks of polar explorers Ernest Shackleton and Robert Falcon Scott. They've created highly detailed 3D digital twins of the Quest and Terra Nova shipwrecks resting deep in the Labrador Sea and off the coast of Greenland. These 3D models will allow scientists and historians to study wrecks and their surrounding ecosystems indefinitely, preserving a digital record before the ocean claims them completely.
I love it.
Fascinating.
Earth and space science researchers and XR and spatial computing to move beyond traditional two-dimensional constraints, leveraging open source tools like OpenSpace to visualize complex planetary data and explore the known universe in native three-dimensional environments. Our robots and robotic cameras in space are sending back 3D data that allows scientists to analyze complex geophysical data, conduct virtual field trips, and collaborate globally in immersive environments.
Yeah, we have the Perseverance right here next to us. Yeah, which is amazing. So when I stop to think about this, robots are in our businesses, they're in our homes, they're in our schools, they're in our streets, now they're in our seas, in space, and even on the dance floor.
Yes, and Laurel, let's not forget that they're also in our face.
Yes,
Or
they
on
are.
it,
On our face, in our face and on our face.
Yes, they are. True that. Snap unveiled its new standalone augmented reality glasses Specs at the AWE this year, and it features AI assistance with a 51-degree field of view, custom liquid crystal on silicone technology, and electrochromatic lenses that works without a tether to phone or computer, which hits that sweet spot between real spatial utility and everyday style, right?
Nathan, a VR app influencer, demonstrated Snap Spectacles and how it is a natural interface for robotics, especially with training. With AR glasses, the user can train the robot in the real environment, adapting as they go through the process.
This is also fascinating, but I still worry about the impact and challenges that this convergence will end up having.
Karen, you're really right. There's a lot to worry about with all of this. There are some serious challenges ahead as the convergence of AI, XR, and robots collide. There are many concerns about privacy and data collection. There's also struggles of today's economy left over from COVID lockdowns, the tariffs, and the politics. But this is what I know. We creative creatures, and there is a whole worldwide industry that can get together and overcome these, and we have some examples.
Despite being AI competitors, Meta and Anthropic are in talks over a potential $10 billion two-year compute deal where Anthropic would lease GPU capacity from Meta, highlighting how industry-wide shortages are driving infrastructure sharing.
As demand for computing soars, traditional data centers are drawing criticism for water use, pollution, and land impact, prompting some companies to push beyond the current model toward more environmentally sustainable infrastructure.
All these AIs are doing great things. Let's change the data centers.
Yes.
And Apple is doing that. Apple just announced a massive new unified memory. Mac will let smaller businesses run powerful AI models and analytics locally, thus cutting cloud costs and shifting some of the workload from the data centers back to on-premises hardware. But hardware alone won't be enough to fully replace the cloud that has driven computing for the last 20 years. I was a part of the cloud development in those early years, and I never thought about the impact of data centers because I didn't realize it would be that big. So, yikers.
So true.
And maybe they never needed to be that big.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, they're big now, and they're just going to get bigger and bigger. And also one of the greatest fears about AI is job loss, right? AI is being touted as the machine of the millennia to replace humans in all the dirty jobs, the jobs no one wants, the repetitive, uninspired jobs, right? Well, our research into preparing this show found that, like all emerging technologies, many jobs will be lost, but many more will be created.
That's right. We found that human-guided and oversight of robot training, support, and work jobs will increase tremendously. Those with engineering, programming, and other technical skills will transfer fairly easily to AI, XR, and robot manufacturing and training. XR robotic experience designers, digital twin engineers, and metaverse integrators are going to be job titles you will soon see more of.
Also, medicine and healthcare, especially basic patient support and surgery, are also likely to see more robots, largely as a result of positive response to global nursing shortages and long patient wait times. Robots can take over routine care tasks and assist staff, while AI-driven surgical systems now offer for far greater precision and can adapt in real time to challenging conditions, improving both treatment outcomes and recovery times.
Having been in a hospital not too long ago and waiting for like 2 hours just to get my water refilled.
They could have had something in there right now that could at least deliver water. Because I know at our hospital they have a kind of a robot tray that goes around and delivers medications. So, I mean, that if they wanted to put the money into it, that's available right now.
Indeed.
I love it.
Well, AI consumes data, right? Well, data needs to be created, cleaned up, and reviewed constantly, creating jobs for those who know how to handle garbage in and not let garbage back out.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, we need serious experts in that regard. And repair and maintenance jobs are going to increase. Remember, robots are mechanical. This is the truth. This is the truth. You can quote me. What humans make breaks.
And education and training. AI coaches who understand the rules and the game of robots are flourishing. Embodied AI trainers, data curators, AI enhanced educators, AI instructional designers, and XR training facilitators will be the job titles of education's future.
Startups are racing to solve data bottlenecks, gathering egocentric, first-person human training data. Initiatives like MicroAGI's Shift program pay gig workers and professional cleaning crews to record everyday chores so AI models can learn generalization rather than rigid programming. Would you want that job? Using a phone or other volumetric, and it does not look comfortable, and capturing devices, you go about your day and it records your life. Could be interesting and exhausting.
But would you do it? You know, if you'd make the money on it, well, I don't know.
But then again, you're training them to replace you.
Well, okay. But if I could wash dishes and I could record that and then I never have to wash dishes again, I don't know.
Might be a fair trade.
Now, you know, it's already happening all over the place, but XR and robot content producers are already in development to invade the entertainment industry. So expect movies, even robotic XR entertainment in your community soon if it's not there already.
We learned about a career titled Robot Twin Engineer. This is someone with Unity and Unreal Engine skills, robots, AI, and strong spatial storytelling instincts and training to work directly with robots through human interaction and specialization. Many of us in the metaverse have most of those skills already.
As society and culture becomes augmented, we need to focus also on digital and technical literacy. We need to be training students today in understanding the ethical and technical implications of digital twins, telepresence jobs, embodied AI, and policies for them and the broader public, right?
Absolutely right. Now, Karen brought this up early about, you know, the AI and the robot stuff are going to take over knitting and stuff. Robots are already doing knitting for clothing and putting together all those things, and making shoes and so on. Shoes are being knitted today. Nike and many others are now knitting shoes. It's fascinating. But that's not the point. One of the most important points we need to think about is that all things need to be in balance. We've seen through the past 100 years of technology advancement a passionate return to a simpler life. One of the most popular events that is spreading globally are techless social meetups. Have you heard about these? They're
No, this is
awesome.
new to me.
Okay. People are gathering in public spaces and in libraries and all over the place, to tea houses, coffee houses, whatever, to read or knit in silence. Even on buses, knitting bus tours. No tech allowed. No phones, no laptops, no AR glasses, no tech, period. Today, knitting, gardening, sewing, cooking, crafting, etc., are more popular than ever as people see a balance between too much tech and a return to historical art forms. So there you go.
Oh,
We need to have
well,
some of these. I want to have some of these silent meetups in VR.
well, don't we already have certain people that go to in the VR chat that go to have a nap or something, not being
Yes.
alone? Yeah.
Yeah. Same idea.
The Star Trek holodeck is coming, but we are also remembering that we are, at heart, creative people who can also thrive in and out of tech.
Absolutely.
All right, so now we're going to talk about world building in relation to robotics. And, we've covered so much about the convergence of robots with AI and XR. So let's bring you that focuses just on AI and XR, especially news that touches virtual world building.
Now, Unity announced Unity 7's release in early 2027 with beta testing starting this fall. It's being built as the engine behind the next wave of AI-driven XR experiences, keeping projects from Unity 6 compatible while adding faster core CLR scripting and tighter hooks for AI tools like Centis and coding agents to power smarter but responsive mixed reality worlds.
And as we've seen, developers already use Unity for XR and robot interactions. And the engine is now expanding into Unity-driven robotics and industrial digital twins. These real-time 3D digital shadows let operators stand inside a virtual factory, see live robot behavior, and adjust logic through intuitive human-machine interfaces, and then push those improvements back into the physical hardware.
Back here in Engage XR's new 4.3 release, adds smarter AI and smoother workflows for creators, voice-to-text dictation on the virtual keyboard with clear privacy indicators, more AI model choices, including Google Gemini and Claude, alongside Llama and ChatGPT, new vision request cameras, so in-world assistants can independently analyze specific areas without needing to look through your avatar's eyes, and an upgraded backend with integrations that boost text to 3D via Meshy Plus sharper on-the-fly image and chart generation. Wow.
Pretty amazing.
It is. And if you haven't played with it yet here in Engage, go play with it. And one more bit of announcement with Engage XR, they have opened up all of their AI NPCs, historical figures from the School of History, are now publicly open for the rest of the summer. Go talk to Socrates, go talk to Ben Franklin, to Neil Armstrong, to Rosa Parks, to everyone. So please, it's literally a game-changing experience to interact with these really incredibly trained, realistic historical figures. So do check that out. It's public right access through the link. Go check out the School of History avatars and stuff, and all the new features of Engage. We just love it.
Oh, that's just amazing. All right, on to events. So the Immersive VR Theater Studio, Ferryman Collective, is celebrating a Primetime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Emerging Media Program for their Uncanny Valley, A New Day. Created in collaboration with Virtual Worlds Company and built inside VR Chat, the interactive experience combines real-time performances from live actors with choices that let audience members directly shape a high-stakes dystopian narrative. I participated in that. It was really cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. Very cool. And it is currently featured at SIGGRAPH's Immersive Pavilion in LA, where the conference is happening. And this recognition, I am so proud because many of our, we have some educators and VR members that are with Ferryman Collective. This really highlights their pioneering work in pushing live spatial performance from an experimental art form into mainstream acclaim. So congratulations to the whole Ferryman team. This is so exciting.
Indeed.
Absolutely. This Friday, July 24th, Education in VR's Unity Work Group will be exploring how to optimize virtual worlds for VR chat, Engage XR, and other platforms, improving performance and compatibility. This will be their last meetup before September. So come join us and become a part of our popular Unity Work Group, exploring the full potential of Unity and XR.
Next Thursday, July 30th, Vertex Forum 3D is having a special event and meetup that covers the essential things you need to know when creating experiences in social VR platforms, moving from world builder to developer skill sets. Check out the event information on our social media channel.
We're gonna have a party. We're gonna have a party. Next Wednesday on July 29th, we're going to throw a huge party and game festivity here in Engage XR. Was going to be in VR chat, but we've now changed it. And so we're going to be right here. And Lance is going to showcase some great world building fun and interactivity. We may put some of our fun AIs out so you can play with. We're just going to have a good old time.
After that, Educators in VR is winding down for the summer with their annual working break in August with no public events. It's too hot to work anyway.
No kidding. No kidding. It was over 100 degrees. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. It was over 100 degrees yesterday, which is about 38, 39 Celsius, 38 Celsius. And it was an oven. My office was just an oven. So anyway, I'm hoping to get some work done outside of the heat. But we're going to be back in September with more that you've come to expect from Educators in VR and XR News, and plenty of new stuff. So get ready.
Okay, so it's time for us to take you on our round the world tour of XR related conferences. Ready, girls?
Ready! SIGGRAPH 2026 is ongoing right now in Los Angeles, July 19th through the 23rd. If you're there, please stop by and say hello to the Ferryman Collective exhibit and everybody in the immersive pavilion.
Canadians, this is for you. XCS is September 8th through 11th in Vancouver for the gaming industry development with a focus on XR and beyond.
MetaConnect 2026 is going to be on September 17th.
And IEEE's ISMAR 2026 is October 5th through the 9th in Bari, Italy.
And Unity Unite is in Tokyo on November 17th for another Unity Unite special event.
December 7th through 9th is United XR Europe in Brussels, Belgium.
Next year is going to be here before you know it. So if you're planning on attending any of these events next year, start booking your trip now because prices are going to go up.
And okay, the first one in January of 2027 is CES in Las Vegas, January 6th through 9th.
And the AWE Asia will be in Shanghai, July 15th through 16th.
Gamescom is in Germany, August 26th through the 30th.
Phew. And if you would like to have a favorite conference or XR event featured here, please let us know.
You know, since 2018, Educators in VR is proud to remind you that we've produced, I love this year, I can say this, next year it's going to change, 8,000 educational events for over 80,000 participants in the past 8 years. We bring you free weekly educational VR events, training sessions, paid workshops. Please get ready. The 2026-2027 year, we're going to be spicing things up. We're going to have a good old time. So come join us.
So check out our social media and website for more information and join us. Okay, now it's time for our chat VR discussion with our XR News audience. You should be able to unmute and talk back to us. Everyone does every week. So we are still eager to hear from you, however.
Yes. We got to reword that a little bit.
That's all right. I love it. Leave it to Steph. Anyway, today's special show is dedicated to XR, AR, and robots. We've covered the world of how the metaverse, AI, and robotics are merging. Some of this may be new to you, but all of us grew up with the science fiction stories and shows that taught us all about good and bad robots. And I'm really glad that Darren G is here today, because he and I have had many conversations about robots, and he's just as interested as I am. And I'm sure he's going to want to share his perspective.
All right.
Well, you know, I have a confession to make. The first robot I fell in love with was the robot from the 1954 sci-fi film Tobar the Great. Tobar, or robot spelled backwards, get it, is a large, friendly robot built by Professor Nordstrom to pilot dangerous space missions, but eventually became a playmate and protector for the professor's grandson, who was about my age. I even made myself a robot. Or not myself a robot, I made a robot for myself, I should say.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's awesome.
I think that might have come from a kid, actually. I don't think I was that good at that age, so.
Oh, it's wonderful.
That's very
That's
cool,
so-
though.
Yeah, but I want to go back and look at this poster.
Ah!
Oh my gosh.
This is it's in the movie there's no girls being rescued, but boy they drama the snot out of this thing to make sure that people would show up if a blonde was being rescued by carried out by a robot.
In fact, every movie in the 50s actually kind of had that on the poster.
Yeah, it was just crazy. But Steph, thank you for letting us share this picture. This is just, is this adorable? I can't stand it. It's wonderful.
I love that thing to death. It practically dissolved.
I love that, but I think it's also all this robot talk. We have to remember Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, and they're pretty simple. That the robot may not injure a human being or allow through inaction a human being to come to harm. And then the second ones are basically saying that that the robot has to obey orders, except where it conflicts with the first law, and it also must protect its existence if it doesn't conflict with the first and second law. These are really ahead of their time and profound, but are they still relevant today? So, we'd like to know what you think.
Oh, yep, that's a good point. I think they're very relevant today, actually. But as we talk with you guys about your thoughts on the convergence of XR, AR, and robots, we're showing images of the history of robots in toys, entertainment, research, and industry on the screen behind us. Thank you to Rare Historical Photos and many other museums and archives for access to these awesome images.
They're wonderful. This one that's just up here now is this robot in 1909 could walk and talk and sing and make other human movements in 1909. So robots were with us for a very long time. So we've opened it up. You can unmute. To our wonderful studio audience, we want to hear what are your thoughts on what we've been talking about today. And Darren, how about you? Because you love robots. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, Darren.
Well, I've always been interested in robots since I was a little kid, and now I see a big production of these. I'm running through my head real quickly just now as Karen was talking about robots, as I always look at parts, I wouldn't say always, but sometimes I look at what could happen if they do something wrong. They could actually maybe, if you have a glass with some flowers, it can actually move the wrong way and knock that down. There's a lot of things they could do accidentally. So you gotta be careful.
Well, they can also do things on purpose, like the AI today was announced that yesterday morning anyway, that OpenAI actually broke its walled fortress and has caused all kinds of problems. So yeah, that's a big fear. Not just glasses with vases, but there's bigger fears too. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I see it being slowly adopted to the society, which people will do, and I'm looking forward to that because I've always wanted to see a robot close up and see how they act. And a lot of people don't have that opportunity until it comes. I think Karen will have the first opportunity to actually see it in action. So
are you going to get one?
Kind of envious. No, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. just watch the news and take it slowly and understand more.
Cool.
I guess
So what's your
about all
goal?
I can say.
What would you want a robot to do for you?
I've been thinking about that, and I really can't think of it. I mean, the reason I can't think of too much for it to do because it would stop myself from being physical, and the more you depend on the robots, the less physical your body is, and therefore
Oh,
you
good
start
point.
to
Very.
decay and it start to be less
Very
active.
good point.
You want to be more active or as active as you can be. If you
Very good
start,
point, Darren.
a lot of society may become more dependent on later on, just like they are depending on a lot of things these days. And you got to watch yourself and watch what you. But you know, it has good for repetitious type of things like doing laundry, wash the dishes, things you don't really want to do all the time. But it'd be useful for that.
Hmm.
I agree with Laurel. So yeah, that would be a great idea.
I think that if it would do my dishes, do my laundry, vacuum, and dust and vacuum, I could spend more time doing things that I love, like getting out and being more physical.
You'd be getting more exercise, in other words.
Yeah, my exercise is housekeeping, and I'm really tired of that. I'm jealous of those who have cooperative family members that share and do all that stuff, so they can then go out and go jogging or something like that, or take yoga classes. Instead, I go in the house and clean. But
Darren has a good point. And
yes, very much so.
He was hospitable enough to invite Lance and me to stay with him for 2 days. We had a wonderful time, but he works hard. He's got a big house to take care of, and he does a lot of stuff in the house, fixing things and in the yard and all that. And he has a very good point, because if robotics do everything for us, we need that physical activity, and that's going to create problems.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you, Darren. How about the rest of you? Would love to hear your thoughts on all of this. And Peter, have you been doing, the company you've been working for in aerospace, does it have robots?
At the moment, the one part of our corporate is testing drones as robots for C-check and pre-flight check instead of engineers going around the aircraft, and checking stuff. It's basically using drones and AI to check. And the robots, let's call it a robot as a drone, which they are now trying it's more like in the testing phase to do some small maintenance parts like very, very simple tasks, including the flaps. You have flaps delamination. There is a specific test for that, and that robot that can actually perform that, which is quite an interesting thing. And so that's one of the. But one thing that I would add was actually today I met my cousin after like 12 years. We haven't seen each other for 12 years. And we started to talk about, the things, how we are doing, and we remembered our childhood and teenage and blah, blah, blah. And then we start talking about our jobs, and we end up at AI and robotics. And then she said, like, Peter, because we are sitting in the restaurant and you had Unitary robot, it's standing there and it's greeting people and showing direction to the parking places and stuff. No kidding. Yes. And it's a very simple thing, but it's kind of like fun, for people and tourists. And she was like, Peter, we are actually already living the sci-fi future. I was like, yes. Yes.
No,
so it's kind of
very
coincidence.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. That's very, very true. But you brought up a good point, having a greeter. So in the state of Oregon where I live, we, until recently, could not pump our own gas. So we didn't have self-service gas. There were always workers there. And it was a great place to start a job, low-income job, and to start your work, or, if you don't have the skills and stuff. It's a skillless, great, easy to learn job. So it kept people employed at low levels. And I do have to admit that my little curmudgeon inside of me is worried that some of those low-level entry jobs that are so critical to our society may
Yeah.
just be replaced by robots. And I still think that there's still value in those, you know, would I want a robot to pump my gas? Actually, I don't want gas, period. So that kind of eliminates that. I want to have no more gas in my car, you know? But what do you think about that, Peter?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think it's a good thing that we have a lot of tasks that could be replaced by robots. But on the other hand, yes, we have to find what we will do, what will be our tasks for the day, what will be our you know, the meaning to wake up in the morning to get up from the bed. And I'm not saying we are that far, we are not that far yet, but some people might end up in that, you know, in kind of in that situation that you will be replaced at work by AI, then you have robots doing the stuff for you, and then you will be like, okay, so what's the purpose of my day?
Good point.
Can I say a few things as a mom
please.
of young kids? So my kids got a robo dog last year for Christmas, and they love it so much. It has like a tablet that you configure, and you have to feed it. It can talk to you, so it wiggles the tail and it writes messages on the tail. Because it has this kind of like dots. You know how when you do fast and then you can see a message running. And then it can be hungry. It can, like, they figured it out. Like, I don't know how they figured it out, what she does. And then another thing we got a kit from Amazon. It was very cheap. It had four or five projects. I kind of regretted it because I thought my daughter's gonna do it, and I ended up putting everything together. And there was a bunch of little robots, and it's so fun. I don't remember all of them. They were kind of different types of robots, but one of them was like blowing bubbles, and they provide you everything. You just have to bring your own batteries. So that's a great starting point.
Huh.
And how are the kids doing with all of it?
Oh my gosh, they're doing so good. Honestly, they becoming more advanced than me. They love it. I mean, the dog is kind of fun. It was creeped me out a little bit, but it's pretty good. They get tired of it. They drop it for like a long time, then pick it up again, and then drop it. So.
Well, that's kids and toys generally. So.
Yeah. Oh, how wonderful! You know, I don't know. Steph, you built a robot when you were a kid. Karen, did you get a chance? I never got a chance. There weren't robots to build.
I didn't either, but I sure want to do it now. Build one, get one.
There's also a new trend going on that people build their own cyber kits or something. I forgot cyber. And everything is available on Amazon. It's pretty cheap.
Well, the desktop variety could be a great starting point.
Yes.
I love it. And if anyone has ever played with the Arduino or the was it Raspberry Pi? My husband and I played around with that, and I wanted to do more than he has the patience for. But that's a great way to start too, to at least start with some programming and things. I love it. How about the rest of you?
So I can, besides all of the usual things that everybody talks about, you know, the household chores and all these kind of things, you know, these robots are going to be extremely invaluable for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
You know, I can think of so many situations where it would be extremely helpful for me. You know, like going to the grocery store and getting items off the top shelves that I can't reach because I'm in a wheelchair. You know, or you know, having it actually replace my PSW. Now, I'm a little concerned.
People don't know what that
because,
is. What's a PSW?
Okay. So a PSW is a personal support worker who comes and basically a home nurse that comes to my home and helps me out in the shower and dressing and things like that. And so I'm not sure, though, I would want a robot to scrub certain places. But, you know, yeah, things like that. You know, it's going to be so invaluable. Like I said, just so invaluable for people with disabilities.
And for their caregivers too, you know, because that takes a terrible toll on caregiving. or caregivers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. And
you
one
know,
of the stories. Oh, go ahead, Karen.
no, I was just going to say, you know, for people, even people who have gotten out of the hospital with like knee replacements or hip
Mhm.
replacements or something like that, that don't have somebody in the house with them that can bring them food and help them out that way.
Absolutely. We went through a ton of stuff that we took out of the show. One of the ones, because we really tried to stay as focused on AI, XR,
Yeah,
and
VR.
robots, but
Yeah.
yeah, and one of the things that we took out was very fascinating is that drones with AI have been used in Ukraine to rescue people. And there's a viral video that's out there of an old woman who the story is that she was was in the basement of her home hiding out like a bomb shelter, like 4 or 5 days, ran out of food, ran out of water, and she's all, bent over and crippled and walking with a cane. She got out and was walking miles to the nearest town, and the AI
Through a battle
drone
zone, actually, right?
through battle zone,
the
yeah,
fighting, yeah, and was
because it was
discovered
that
by
or
an
die.
AI. Yeah.
Yeah, discovered by the AI drone and actually was rescued by the AI drone. So
By a
that kind of,
robotic, yeah, by a robotic
yeah,
conveyance. No soldier was endangered by going after her. It was
yeah,
just this little cart that they set out that scooped her up and brought her home.
that kind of thing, just like with people who are disabled, to actually rescue is amazing. And some of the new robotics that they have that can collapse down to very small and large and flex and crawl into little tiny areas and things.
Mhm.
I think of the value that would have been in Venezuela with all of the earthquake damage and stuff. So there's, we had to filter out a lot of stuff, but you're absolutely right. Robots are going to be saving lives in so many ways. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
But anyway,
and
who else?
they
Who
don't
else
have to
wants to
be
share?
humanoid anymore at all.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Yeah.
No.
Anyone else want to add? Go ahead, Darren.
Laurel, what do you think about the Tesla robot? What's your opinions on that?
I have none
None.
because
Okay.
I don't know what. Yeah, tell us about it.
No,
What are your thoughts on it?
I was just curious. I'm just curious of what you feel because I've seen videotapes or YouTube videos of the Tesla robot. I think it's on its 3rd generation right now, and they're going to go against a whole bunch of robots that are coming out either next year or maybe later on this year. And they're going to have AI built into them. I just wonder how well AI is going to work with that. Supposedly it's going to be okay.
AI, as we talked about in the show, AI is already in robots in China and Japan.
Mhm.
They're being used, all over the place and with tremendous success and a lot of failure too. So it'll
Yeah,
enter the
Tesla
field just
doesn't
like
have
the
a
rest of
corner
them.
on that market for sure,
Yeah, no, there's so much more advanced technology that's out there. So in many ways, the robots, I hate saying this because it's heartbreaking and I don't want to cause trouble, but what we found in our research is the United States is way behind in all technologies, especially robotics. And which is heartbreaking because a lot of it started in the United States. And I mean, many of it started in Germany, and people who had that technology, inventors and scientists and researchers in Europe, when they fled during World War II, many of them came to the United States and continued their work. And so there's been a whole body of history in developing robotics and that technology here. But for a variety of different reasons, it struggles here in the States. So there is more funding, there is more opportunity in it for advancement and everything else that's happening outside of the United States. And that is really exciting. China and Japan and Vietnam and whatnot, they're doing incredible work and people are adopting to robots right within them. So Tesla's going to have to step it up.
Yeah,
It may
they're not
be,
going to set the standard
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, because others are already doing it. So I don't know enough about it to know how advanced it is because it didn't even come up in any of our research.
No, it didn't.
I was surprised to see Lance brought it in here, but it didn't come in at all. It didn't score in any way, shape, or form on all of our searches.
One more thought.
Yeah.
There is, for what everybody could check it out on YouTube, but as far as I know, they've already having robots in the Amazon distribution areas right now.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
And they're working right now, and they've already been bought by a big manufacturer. So
Yeah.
they're already
Oh, yeah.
in play right now, and they're working. So they're
Robots have been around for decades within manufacturing and whatnot. What's different is that AI is changing things, and the integration of XR to be able to program them faster.
Yeah, and
Because
with more
as
accuracy.
was
Yeah.
and with more accuracy, and as we mentioned in the show, robots, when you're training a robot, they cost a lot of money, and they break really easily when you're doing the training because you're just trying to break them. They break. They're really expensive. So when that training can happen in a virtual environment like in Unity or Unreal Engine,
But
the advancement is moving faster because it's
the
more
flip
affordable.
side is that they can do the repetitive things that break human beings, just by the same token that it's bad for them to bend over that much or lift that heavy a burden repetitively. So the fact that they use humanoid type robots to replace those people is doing them more favor than anything else.
It is.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Go ahead, Darren. We
Another
need to
thing
wrap
I
it
was
up.
going to point, just before we do that, there is a new technology, and I'm not sure which robot it is, but it has ability to change its own battery and
Yeah.
keep running
Oh,
24 hours a
yeah.
day.
And repair
Well,
itself.
I think Neo can do that too, can it?
I'm not sure. I want to say yes, but I'm not sure.
It's
I
only
think it
found in
among-
1 or 2
It can
robots.
grab its thing and plug itself in, basically.
Yeah, among the
No, they
robot
switched it.
information that we left out were robots that can dress you, robots that fix themselves, can change their batteries. The list is so vast and long of what they could do now. And if you haven't seen the videos of the robot actually dressing them, somebody, it's wonderful. It's really fascinating. It was something I'd never thought of, but it's so critical to be able, if you cannot dress yourself, having help, but more importantly, to put on spacesuits, to put on equipment, gear that is specialized, that requires a lot of training just to put on. You know, astronauts just don't decide to jump into a spacesuit and go for a spacewalk. There's a lot of learning curve that goes into this.
And they often need another astronaut to help them in. So
or two,
out, and the fact you can have something do it automatically, just come up around you and kind of seal you in. Especially in an emergency situation is really important thing to be able to do.
Absolutely. So we left so much out, so we'll save it for another show. But we want. All right. I want to thank everyone for being here, for all of your amazing comments and feedback. This has been fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you really did, please let us know, because we want to do some more special events like this next year as we continue forward. And just thank you, everyone, for all of your love and support. We just love doing this for you.
XR News is produced by Educators in VR and our XR News volunteer team, and live in Engage XR every Wednesday. We've been bringing you the news from across the metaverse since 2018. We're still here every week with the news you need to know.
And next week, don't miss next week, because we're going to party in celebration of a successful 25-26 year. We'll be here in Engage XR, and we hope to see all of you next Wednesday for our final party before the EDVR vacation begins in August. Well, it's not a vacation; it's a working time off.
Semi. Each of our shows,
we're going to be working.
Each of our shows is filmed. Speak for yourself. Each of our shows is filmed for YouTube. Please subscribe and share with your friends. Join the Educators in VR Discord and subscribe to our other social media channels to find links to what we highlight here on the show and much more about the metaverse and immersive education. Keep up with XR and help us share the news from around the metaverse too.
And you have no idea how hard we work. All right, credit goes to all of the hard work that all of our team does, and all of those who create every day all of the news across the metaverse, across the web, the professionals, the citizen journalists, and everyone who cover the news that we use. We really want to thank also all the historians and archivists for their preservation of robot history and allowing their images to be used in the show. That was fun.
For full disclosure, thanks and credit also goes to our AI assistants, Gemini and Perplexity. They help us scan the web for the latest news and updates, as well as editing script and slides. Thank you to all of you, both your cybernetic and human, out there tolling the metaverse.
I love Steph's sense of humor. And thank you to our educators and VR partners, sponsors, and supporters, including iLearn, the Reinhardt Foundation, Girls STEAM Institute, Virtual World Society, Cadets Metaverse, Vertex Form 3D, Bridgemakers, and Engage XR. We're also looking for volunteers to make the news possible, so come and join us.
It really does take a village to produce this show for you every Wednesday here in Engage XR. Our team is taking our annual month break in August to plan for the next year. These people on the screen give so much of their time and energy for free. If you have any to spare, you can too. We need your help to keep the show running, from technical to marketing. So please take time after the show to meet and thank everyone who gives so much of their time to make this show possible, and consider volunteering yourself. Thank you.
Remember, you're the reason we do the XR News Show. So until next time, stand up, stand tough, and most of all, in these amazing, uncertain, robotic, and otherwise times, please be safe wherever you are in the world.
We did a thing!
Yay!
Hey.
Oh my God.
Breathe.